friends, welcome back to Get Bakin. Today I'm going to show you how to make ratatouille and try to make a baguette, but I've never done it before, so we'll see how it goes. Let's get started. First, we're going to start with what's in this bowl. This is dough that's been proofing for about 2 hours now. In here is a 1.5 cups of flour, 3/4 cup warm water, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of active yeast. And this is gonna be the base for our baguette. So it's all gross in there. I've cleaned the counters and I've washed my hands. So we're gonna throw a little flour down on the counter. We're just gonna, my roommates love when I do this. I get flour everywhere. One of these, all up in there. It's gonna be super sticky because it's just been sitting in here getting all gluten-y. Is that a word? That's not a word, it's okay. And we're gonna do that. You can turn this into 2 different baguettes, but I don't want to. So I'm just gonna make this into 1 large baguette. So we're gonna fold it in on itself, getting some of that flour all up in there. Now that we have this nice little wad of dough, we're gonna start stretching it out. Let's get it baguette shaped. It's gonna be super stringy. It's gonna be hard to pull just because of all of those gluten structures in there. So you just gotta be gentle. That looks nice and log shaped. So now we're gonna flatten it out a little, which seems a little counterproductive, but I promise it'll be okay. And now you're gonna fold it in on itself in thirds. And that's how you get that nice like shape of a baguette. So you fold it over. There we go, and we'll give it a little roll. Roll it back. Squish your ends so you don't have those weird crusty bits on the end. So you just want to flip them. So you get a round end. And then take your handy dandy cooking sheet over here. Throw it down in your tray, and you're gonna let this proof for another half hour, 45 minutes, and then we'll score it and throw it in the oven. But for now, it's gonna come sit over here, and we're gonna preheat to 400 degrees. And that'll sit over there while we get started on ratatouille. I'm gonna go wash my hands. All right. So our baguette's on the stove while it proofs. The oven is preheated to 400 degrees. I've washed all of our vegetables. So we're gonna get started on the base for our ratatouille. I'm gonna take 3 of these tomatoes, this bell pepper, 1 chunk of garlic, and half of this onion, and cut that up. The tomatoes, they're just gonna get quartered up because you don't really, they're gonna get blended. You don't need them to be that tiny, it's fine. So just chunk them up. These tomatoes are just gonna get tossed right into the bottom of your casserole pan over here. The ratatouille I'm making is like the one from the movie. Traditional French ratatouille is more of like a comfort dish. So it's like a stew. You would use whatever vegetables you had left over. This isn't how you're supposed to cut a pepper, but I'm doing it anyway. You can just pop those. There you go. Cut this in half. Yeah, but traditional ratatouille was like a poverty meal. It was whatever you had lying around, so your vegetables didn't go bad or anything, and you would put it all in one big pot and boil it down. It was the equivalent of coming home after school and seeing the crock pot on the counter. That's how little French kids felt about ratatouille. But then the movie turned it into some fancy dish, right? You can do yellow bell peppers, orange bell peppers. I just like the way the color looks when I do the red ones. Then you're gonna do half an onion. You wanna save the other half of the onion for when we layer everything to make it look pretty. I only have a little knife, so bear with me. That was the worst cut I've ever done, but it's fine. I'm gonna use this chunk and probably chunk up a little more of that because that was not half. But we're just gonna peel this off, throw it in the sink. Chop off the end, try not to cut off my finger. And this, it doesn't have to be pretty because it's just going in the casserole pan. So we'll just chunk it up. I'm gonna cut it a little smaller than like these big chunks. And these chunks are just gonna go in here. I might start crying in a second. My eyes watering. I just love vegetables so much, man, you know?
Madison's crying.
I love vegetables. I love vegetables. Sorry I lost my cool there a little. This onion was a good onion. Okay, then I'm gonna open this garlic real fast. My knife already sucks anyway, so I'm just gonna use my knife to open it. So I'm gonna open up this garlic. No, I'm not. Oh wait, I did it. You just want a few nuggets. I'm gonna cut the little ends off. And I'm just gonna throw the whole clove right in the pan. It's all getting blended together. So, it'll be okay. Chop the end off, peel it. You can do as much or as little garlic as you want. I like garlic, so I'm gonna do a few good cloves of garlic. Now that we have everything in our casserole pan, you're just gonna drizzle on some olive oil, just a smidge. And now it's time for seasonings. You can use whatever seasonings you want. You don't have to go crazy. I'm keeping it pretty simple. Just some pink salt, because pink salt is cute. You can use whatever kind of salt you want. I've got black pepper. Get that in there. Some Italian seasoning, good old amount. You can do fresh basil or fresh thyme if you want to. You'll just have to be sure to pick out the stems of your thyme before you blend it, because you don't want the stringy bits in there. If you don't have fresh garlic, you can do garlic powder, you can do onion powder, you can throw some paprika, whatever you want in there. Go crazy, as long as you add seasonings. And now this is gonna go in the oven until it all gets mushy. That should take about 20 minutes. While we've got those vegetables in the oven getting mushy, we're gonna deal with this bread that's been proofing on the oven. So it's doubled in size approximately. I washed my hands, I washed my knife. So we're just gonna make little lines in it so you get those pretty bread lines. Now that we've got our pretty lines in there, we're gonna sprinkle some Italian seasoning on here. Just a little. As if this episode wasn't Italian enough. We have to Italian seasoning our baguette. Now this is gonna go in the oven under our casserole pan of mushy vegetables, and we'll see what those vegetables look like. The vegetables aren't quite mushy enough yet, so while all that's working in there, I'm gonna start cutting up our layers of vegetables to go in once we work on our sauce. I'm gonna start with this eggplant. You can use basically whatever kind of squash, or really whatever vegetables you want. Because again, this was like whatever kind of vegetables you had laying around type thing. So you're gonna wanna cut them into like small slices. And when we get to like the wider part over here, you can just cut it in half and we'll just match it up. So I'm gonna slice all these up into these like little discs, and then we're gonna stack them up. And then we'll work on the sauce and everything and we'll come back. For science, I'm gonna eat this. It's kind of gross. Time to take out this casserole pan of mushy vegetables. Try not to burn your fingers. Use a hot pad or a really thick towel. Oh yeah, these look so good. And we're gonna let these cool up right here on the counter. And then they're gonna go in here to make our sauce. I'm just gonna squish it in here. And all the oil and goop and seasoning in the bottom of your pan, you can just leave it in there because everything's gonna go back in here anyway. We good? All right, and now we've got nice, smooth, orange looking sauce. And this is gonna go in the bottom of our pan and we can start layering. I can't get it open. We're just gonna hand it off.
Oh my gosh.
Now this sauce is gonna go all in the bottom of the pan. We're gonna take our spatula, just even it out so it all coats the bottom. And now we can start layering. So just kind of take one of each. I've got a zucchini. I'll find a small piece of eggplant in here. Little piece of tomato. And then a chunk of onion. And a piece of squash. And we're just gonna kind of layer it up like a sandwich and nestle them right in this sauce. And layer it up nice and pretty like in the movie Ratatouille when it looks all nice and circly. I'm just gonna keep doing this for a while. All right, we've got everything layered up here. So your last step is gonna be drizzling on some oil, and then you can add more seasonings to the top if you want to. Oh yeah, that's gorgeous. I'm gonna do more salt, pepper, garlic, because there can never be too much garlic, and a little Italian seasoning. Just a little sprinkle on the top. Update on the baguette, it's looking delicious. It's amazing. My ego is delightfully fed. And now this is gonna go in the oven until all of it gets nice and golden and crispy looking, and then everything smells like garlic and seasoning, and oh, it's gonna be so good. So let's put this back in. Now it's time to take the baguette out of the oven. Oh, it looks so delicious. I can't see. That is gorgeous. That's the most stunning thing I've ever seen in my life. Now we're gonna cut this baguette while we wait another 10-15 minutes for this ratatouille, and then we'll be all done. This was the first time I've made a baguette, so there may have been some user error. She's a little crispy. Let's see. Let's see. Actually, it's really soft on the inside, but it might have been in the oven just a little too long because our crust is really thick. We left it in there for about a half hour, 45 minutes. It probably didn't need that much time. Probably only like 20-30 minutes, maybe even a little less. But for the first time I've ever made a baguette, this isn't a total fail. That actually looks so good. Let's plate it up. And here's our finished product. We have a little bit of Italian seasoning right on top, and we put a little of the sauce right on top, and it's good to go. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of cheese, just a little sprinkle. And we're gonna give this a try. Let's see. I wanna get a little bit of everything in there. So let's do. All right. That's really good. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Be sure to try it out on your own, and we'll see you next time. Bye.